Library Science, Banaras University. So thank you, Professor Shyam Kishore, for sparing your time and discussing a very interesting topic on religion and politics, past and present. So thank you, sir. And we hope
Thank
in
you for
future
giving the
also we'll associate.
opportunity. Yeah. Okay, then.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. So good morning, Professor Tripathi.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, fine, sir. Fine.
Yeah.
So although it is 5 minutes early, but we may start.
Yeah.
The participants are already there, and you're also ready.
Yeah.
So dear participants, now we are having our next resource person, Professor Aditya Tripathi. He is professor in Department of Library Science, Library and Information Science in Banaras Hindu University, a prestigious university. He has been head of the department earlier. He is former head of Department of Library Science in BHU. He is member of many committees. His area of specialization is digitization and digital library, digital preservation, web technology, uh, scientific web, and many other. Uh, he got his education. He did his B.Lib from BHU. Then he got M.Lib from Bangalore. He did his PhD from Pune. And now he is associated with the BHU since long. And he's having a long list of publications, many publications in journals, international journals, national journals. He has written about a dozen books, I think 11 books. Then many book chapters he has contributed, and he's having a good experience of working as a teacher also. So we are actually fortunate to have him today for interaction, and he will be talking on education and digital environment. So welcome, sir. And now time is yours. You can start your deliberation. And sir, one more thing, we are having school board meeting starting now, already started.
Fine.
So after this, I'll go and join that meeting.
Okay, yeah, you carry on.
And Professor Manoj also is in our same, we are in same school, so he's also there in the meeting itself.
Fine. You both can
we'll try
carry
to
on.
rejoin towards end, sir.
That's
so
good.
okay. The people from HRDC Mizoram University, they are here. So if you need any assistance, they will be there to help you.
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you, sir. So you can start.
My slide is visible?
Yes, visible.
Okay, fine. So thank you, Professor Bhartendu, and I'm very happy to share my experiences with this community of academicians, which is collected virtually through Mizoram University platform. Today, I would be talking on mostly education and digital environment, and it is mostly my experiences, how I looked in, how I have seen, perceived this whole environment, that I would be sharing with you in due course of time. In fact, before getting into the core area, we need to talk about we need to just review our education system, what it used to be and what it is today. Okay, so we see a great amount of transformation from our ancient education system, which we call it as ashram system, where the students used to go to the house of gurus. Normally, these houses or these were called as ashrams, where many students used to collect. These were like kind of a school where students used to collect, and then they live with their guru for a period of time as long as they are not graduated. Okay. So they live with their guru, their family, and they work with them. And then they learn the intricacies of life, intricacies of subject, intricacies of specializations. Okay. So it was a kind of, a continuous education for the students away from the, sophisticated or comfortable life of cities, or the comfortable life of families. They used to get away from the family and used to stay in these kind of ashramas with their gurus, where there were number of teachers used to teach them. And this teaching used to be a round the clock kind of a business. They used to work, they used to learn with the teacher in their direction. So this was our, method of teaching. But again, over a period of time, things changed, and there was a different kind of institutionalization of our education system, which Britishers brought to the India. Okay, we call it as Macaulay system of education. Normally, we all are studied in this kind of schooling. We used to have schools. We go to the school and then come back to our home, and then annual system or semester system, slowly things change. And in India, we followed this education system. Uh, you know, uh, what I say is imposed on us on our old education system, okay, or it replaced our old education system. Then, there was a period we have seen from 1991 onwards. This is what I experienced. The phenomena or the market is opened, the globalization, and the education became a kind of a business. I'm not saying that it is not it was not a business earlier. It was a business. Even in Macaulay system, it was a business. But it is completely changed as an industry. Okay, even specializations, subject study, like that, whether it is professional, whether it is vocational, whether it is, subject area, any kind of science, arts, commerce. We started getting people, we started getting institutes specialized for teaching, where you have to pay. Okay, you have to pay, and then, of course, get a degree, and then you are market ready. So, what we started preparing is the outcome of this environment was market ready professionals. So, we started preparing market ready professionals. So, now you see, we have got now recently the government has realized this whole situation and this transformation and the need of uh, opening the syllabus, opening the syllabi for the students, opening the environment of education. The new education policy has been brought up by the government so that not only we prepare the market ready people, we prepare the leaders. Okay, see, when I say market ready people, a labor is also a market ready person, but the leaders have in-depth knowledge on a new area. they can lead in a new area. They can create a paradigm shift in a subject, in an area. So now today, the emphasis is more on creating leaders. Okay. Of course, we need market ready people, we need market ready workforce, but again, we need to identify people who could be leading the society or different walks of life. So this was, a brief introduction about our education system, the new education policy we are going to adopt. Slowly, it is coming up here and there. But again, whatever system you adopt, whether it is ashram system, whether it is Macaulay, or whether you say new education policy, the core of, education is teaching. You need to teach your students. You need to let your student know what you know. Not only let the student know what you know, you need to create a kind of analytical ability in the student. You need to guide him. Okay. Sometimes on unexplored path, you need to guide him where you yourself has never gone. But yes, as a teacher, you need to guide him. And this whole guiding can be only done once you impart whatever knowledge you have in your student. So, still the core of any education system. We may argue this system is good, that system is bad, or this is moderate, or anything, but the core of any education system is teaching. And we have got great teachers, Dronacharya. We have got great teachers, the great Buddha, who preached his five peoples in Sarnath, okay, in Varanasi. So we have great teachers, we have great minds in India. Another important facet of, our education system is learning. Now from here, the importance of a student, importance of the pupil comes in picture. How he or she acquires the knowledge, how or she perceives the subject, how he or she is going to use the acquired knowledge in his or her decision making. We have great students like Aiklavya, we have great students like Arjuna, we have great students like Rama. Who, with their ability of learning, have glorified their teachers. So there are two very important aspects we can see in our education system is first teaching, and then second one is learning. And in any education system, there are two sides. One is teacher, other is student. So the teacher should have the ability of teaching, the student should have the ability of learning. This is a small cartoon just to show you the way We have been taught in the school in our good old days when we were kids. Of course, we used to be punished for something or other about our mischiefs. We were taught in blackboard chalk system. Today the system has changed. Now there are, you know, the chalk puts dust in your finger. But still, I love that blackboard and chalk teaching. We enjoy it, of course. So, this strictness of teacher, the blackboard teaching with which we all have gone through has brought a kind of a discipline in our life. It has made us what we are today. Okay. So our education system has a great role in making of a human. So your education system should create an individual fit for the society. So of course, now coming to teachers, our education system, what we are in today, has primary education, secondary education, higher secondary, and college. Primary, uh, I think nursery to class fifth or class eighth, something like that. Then secondary from ninth to ninth, 10th kind of thing, or from class 6 to 10th. You can classify. Then you have higher secondary, 10th, 12th. Then we have college, undergrad, and PG and research. And we have teachers, across all the strata of education. And at the bottom of this whole pyramid of this structure of teachers, if you put the base is primary teachers. Those often they are neglected in our society, or they are, sometimes I see they are not properly, you know treated in the society or in the salary structure or whatever you say. But they give us the students whom we make scientists. I'm talking about university teachers or faculty. So, in the chain of grooming of a student, a grooming of a child, the greatest role is played by the primary teacher. What we get is a structured, uh, dough. What he starts with, just a kind of a dough. What we do is we get a structured dough, we sharpen it, we design in it. But what a primary teacher does is he gets mud, okay, and then he creates the shape in that. So, primary teacher, secondary education, higher education teacher, they all have a great role to play. We cannot undermine them, or they should not be undermined. And they should be duly recognized in our education system. So knowledge you see in this cartoon is not something like that you are pouring something in the vessel as it shows. This is a bit old statistics, but I definitely want to give you an idea that we have almost, I think, more than now 799 universities are there. Almost more than 40,000 colleges are there. Now this figure has changed. So there are across institutions, there are schools, almost 15 lakh, something like that, schools, more than that. So we have a well structured education system in this country in which we are working. And normally we give the score to these educational institutes, like we say BHU is rank 3, or you know JNU is rank 1, or IISc is rank 1, some kind of score, some kind of matrix we prepare, and then we you know give the score, and then we rank them. Okay, so the best school we say in the world or the university is Oxford. So top 3 I have shown you. Then the major impact is the student teacher ratio. The student teacher ratio, if it is you know less, that means less number of students and one teacher is allotted. Okay, that the grooming of the student is much better in that environment. Sometimes in India we see, especially when I was studying in secondary schools, even in graduation, we see 100 students, 150 students in one class and one teacher. Okay, or probably for the whole semester there were 4 teachers who used to teach us. So you can say 100 students and 25 and 4 teachers. That means student teacher ratio is 25:1. And more or less in our country, this is the structure, this is the ratio. The 24 is the you know student teacher ratio is in India we have. Okay, whereas in Oxford and all that, it is sometimes 6, or sometimes it is 11 students per teacher, something like that. Of course, another important thing is the kind of population we cater, the kind of population these countries cater has a heaven and hell difference. That also we should not ignore. So whatever we are doing in our situation, our environment is something great. It is not that we need to undermine ourselves. Okay. Now coming to the area which I am supposed to talk is ICT, or digital environment. ICT, we all know that it is information communication technology we use, which includes any kind of communication technology, including your mobile phone, television, internet, and all that. Any kind of communication technology. So, this slide gives you an idea what all you can think about in ICT. Now, why ICT? The reason is the penetration of internet is growing. The mobile penetration is growing over a period of time, if you see. So this is the statistics of 5 years I have taken from somewhere. Now, when I say the penetration of internet is growing, so we need to know what is internet. It is global network of computers. So machines are connected across the world. They communicate with each other. They can transfer the data among themselves, and this is what is internet today we have. Now coming to tools of teaching, what we are using, what we used to, and what we are using. Now see this change, you yourself can realize. Many of you would have realized over a period of time. And many of you still would have been using the traditional method like blackboard, chalk, duster, attendance register, and all that. We still use in our department. We still have blackboard. Rather, from blackboard, it has become green board. Okay. Still, we use chalk, we use duster, attendance register, manual system. But today, you don't need to do that. You have got ICT for your rescue. Life is more easy, and the experience is just great, they say. Okay. So the tools you have is desktop, laptop you use in your classroom. You have overhead projectors, you have projectors, okay, you have display units, You got digital camera, printers, copiers, tablets. You use pen drives for data transfer. You have got web boards, scanners, microphones, interactive whiteboards, DVD CDs, flash disks, video games for simulation studies. You know, one of the wonderful tools, I must say, the video games. Now, the teaching, real-time teaching. Say, for example, if I have to teach somebody shooting, so if I need to give them a target, I give them a bullet, I need to give them a gun, and then I need to ask him to shoot a target physically. Whereas now today we have simulations where you get exactly same impact what you get in the real environment, but it will be a virtual environment, simulation environment. How to, fly an aeroplane. Okay. Now there are simulations. In simulations, you are taught how to fly an aeroplane like a real environment where you sit in the cockpit and then you feel that you are flying an aeroplane. You give the commands real time and it happens. So, what a great environment of teaching it is. Now, say, for example, dissection of human body, a dissection of an animal. Unless you kill it, you cannot dissect it. Okay. So now, if I have to teach somebody dissection, I can give them a simulation environment. I can give him a video how it is to be done. But again, I have my own reservations. Unless I do it real time, I don't get the feel. But again, it gives you a near virtual feeling, a near real time feel of the environment. Okay. So today we have wonderful tools which we can use for explaining a subject to our students. Now, the environment of teaching and learning also has changed. We are in a period which we call it as digital scholarship, where the teaching material I prepare or the teaching I do, that also is digital. Like I'm giving a lecture to you, it is a digital environment, digital media. So creation and production is digital. Storing, if you want to store my lecture, that also is digital. If you want to analyze, cut, or recreate something out of my lecture, yes, you are allowed. You can do that also digital. Distribution and publishing and displaying, everything is digital. The whole medium has changed to digital in academic environment, and this is what we call as digital scholarship. So the academics is changed. The environment of academics is changed. It has changed to digital. Earlier, to give a lecture at HRDCU, I had to come to Mizoram to give the lecture, and you all had to assemble at Mizoram, HRDCU, to listen. Today, you all are sitting on your respective places, and I am sitting in my office and I'm talking to you. And so you can also talk to me. So the environment has changed. Not only academics, the research also has changed. You are getting the resources in digital format for your use. So now, talking about open educational resource. This is a wonderful concept, a wonderful idea. You know, providing the reading material to your student, or where he can read, where he can take classes, That all is open now. If you don't like my lecture, you don't understand my lecture, there are several lectures or thousands of lectures on open educational resources or YouTube. You can listen any expert on YouTube and get to know what is open educational resource, or you can build your own concept of open educational resource. You can build your own concept of digital environment. So the okay, I can have a fixed syllabus, but the reading material or the teaching or the learning is not restricted to a classroom or to some textbooks or to some teachers. Now things have changed. It is all open. The education is now no more chained to an institution or to a person. It is open. So materials are available online, platform independent. You take any means device and you can read. Whether you have tablet, you have mobile phone, or you have computers. And not only if you have a television, yes, you can read. Now you have all kinds of devices available, different sizes, different shapes. You don't need to stick to one particular device to read one particular kind of a resource. And all over, it is all open access. There is no restriction that only a handful number of people would read or study or are allowed to view or they are allowed to participate. It is all open. Anyone who is interested can read. Quality education, economic barrier has been removed. Now, a person who cannot pay fees to some big school, if he is interested, he can study. There are open resources, there are open schools, there are open universities. You can study. You don't have to go to, you know, big institutions to get educated. Economic barrier has been removed to a great extent. Costly resources are available online, which otherwise were not available. You buy costly affair, put means costly material or reading material or an object, and put it online. Let people read. Only thing, of course, you need to have the copyright to put it online. Okay. So when you are buying or you are negotiating with you know the person you are purchasing the product, you need to negotiate that this is what the use I'm going to have it. There is no restriction of the location. I can study in my bedroom, I can study in my office, I can study when I'm traveling, I can read in any part of the world, I can deliver my lecture from any part of the world. As I'm talking to you, sitting in Banaras, talking to you in your respective places. So, now I can borrow the best teacher on a subject, or I can listen, or I can take the classes of the best teacher available. I don't need to go to him, or he doesn't need to come to me. But still, we can have teacher and learner relationship, and then an effective teaching relationship between us. It has changed the world, it has changed the global order. So now you cannot say that there is unequal distribution of resources. If you are interested to have any resources available for all the class, all the creeds, all the people, without of any kind of biases, you can distribute your resources. Use the network and distribute the resources. No gender disparity. You know, sometimes on certain area, certain aspect, we say, okay, no, this particular gender or this particular people, if they are there, the rest of the community is not comfortable or something like that. Sometimes we have seen this kind of disparity in our society. And, you know, some areas which you feel that particular people, they cannot study, or normally it is a taboo to study. But in the digital environment, you can, without the knowledge of others, without making yourself or without identifying yourself to the public. And it has changed our environment. Now, you cannot mean it's very difficult to talk about gender disparity in this environment. If somebody has, there are equal opportunity to a person who is from a well-to-do family. There is equal opportunity to a person who doesn't have a good financial background, but it is there in the school education. The resources are available for both of them. Okay? No social disparity, no geographical hurdles. And we have seen the role of, you know, how the technology has, cut across all these barriers in our pandemic period when we all were sitting in our homes last 2 3 years. The world was moving only through the technology. Now, talking about education, when we talk about digital environment, there are two more major aspects we need to consider. One is content, other is method of instruction. So when we're talking about methods of, you know, instruction, you need to have a platform. And of course, in India, we have platforms like Swayam portal is there. There are a lot of courses out there. In library science, in your own disciplines, your respective disciplines, we have a lot of courses one can take. Now, these are officially recognized courses through which you can earn credits in Indian education system, university education system. So if you earn the credits from this Swayam portal, it can be used in your grade card of your university. There are MOOC, Coursera kind of platforms where you can take classes, you can offer classes. If you feel that you are an expert, you can register, you can offer your expertise as teaching. Okay. And not only that, if required, you can earn. You can earn out of it. eGyan is another very important platform. All the material on eGyan is freely available, IGNOU course material. So we wrote a lot of course materials in library science. Now I'm surprised to see many of my courses are used by computer science people. They refer at my chapters. You see, now I'm not restricted to only library sciences students. Even other discipline students also, they are using my courses. So it is there. So initiatives are there. No restriction. Any student can use these courses. They can download, they can print out, they can distribute. So no, any kind of embargo on these reading material. So you have, a whole bunch of reading material available at your disposal. Now, EPG Pathshala, the project we have through InflipNet, many of you would have been participating also. I also participated in this project where we have recorded our videos, we have written the reading material, we have created the exercises which students use. Okay, so e-text is there, further readings are there, self-learning is there. Of course, the recorded lectures are there. You can view, you can see. To my experience, I tell you, it is more or less like your IGNU course material. Only thing is now what we have, uh, you know, added in IGNU course material is a kind of a video lecture, some kind of, tests in between. Of those tests are also there in IGNU course material. Only thing the questions are written in the last. Here it is some multiple choice questions are there, some descriptive questions are there, something like that. The model is more or less, I feel it is more or less like an IGNU model, but it is more interactive, one way you can say. So you have this platform also publicly available. Anyone can listen. So if you don't like my lecture on ICT for libraries, go to other teacher. If you don't like my lecture on semantic web, go to other teacher. There are teachers who have recorded their lectures and reading material on EPG Pathshala. You can take theirs also and you can learn from other discipline. So, the government has prepared such kind of platform so that the education should be open. It should go beyond the boundaries. Now, when we create and we give the access to the student, what are all the things we need to understand? So, in the core, if you see here, uh, the core is the learning object, the object we are going to impart or you are going to give to your student. Now, this, I'm not using the word reading material, I'm using the word reading learning object, because this could be a bunch of, objects or the material. So you can have the audio visual, you can have the reading material, text, you can have some kind of interactive sessions for clarification and guidance, and at the end, evaluation, self-evaluation and external evaluation. You know, the whole creation to access is distributed in these four quadrants. First, you need to introduce, demonstrate. You give him some kind of movie, some kind of talks first to just get the idea on the subject. Okay. Then you give him some serious readings for his concept building. Once he or she builds his concept, naturally there will be doubts. And then you can have the interactive sessions, okay, for clarification or further guidings and all that. Once this all is done and then the student is comfortable, he can take self-test to evaluate himself, or externally he can be examined, tested, evaluated, okay, so that you can certify him, yes, you are graduated. So, this is the cycle we are working through, we are going through. Now, creation and access has different facets, especially when we talk about the network. You have to have a network, you have to have the hardware devices, you have to have the softwares. Okay. So there are a lot of open source solutions are there, free solutions are there, which you can use. You need to have open source server and clients. When I say hardware, also you can have server and client. Or when we are talking about the open source, also you can have the server and clients. Okay. So you can have the server and client, and of course, everything can only be run by electricity. So electricity is the core. Okay. So am I connected? No. Am I audible? Okay. So okay, fine. So now we move ahead. So these are the basic things you need. You need network. You need hardware devices. You need some solutions, software solutions, and of course, the baseline is electricity. Not coming to the creation of content. How do we create the content? What are all the facets we need to look in? First, you need to decide upon what you are going to teach, the content, the syllabus, okay, the material, the knowledge, whatever you have, the content you have to decide upon. Then, what would be the container in which this knowledge will be carried to the student? Okay. What I mean is to say is the medium, whether it is text, audio, video, graphics, whichever way you want. And at the end, once you have decided upon content and container, what would be the platform? Like whether you want to go to Swam portal, whether you want to go Coursera, or whether you want to have your own platform, whether you want to have your own website, okay, whether you want to have a system like Moodle kind of thing or Blackboard kind of thing, you need to decide upon the platform. Now, coming to the content, this is the syllabus I teach my students. So, this is the content. I had displayed the content to my students. So, I identified the subject, my area, my paper, structured it. Of course, it is always there, syllabus is there. So, inbuilt syllabus is there. So, the structure is there. So, student knows what he is going to be taught. Okay. Then decide the method of instruction, how I'm going to teach them, whether it will be presentations, whether it will be classroom lectures, or whether it will be recorded lectures, whether it will be the text, or whether it will be only PowerPoint submission to the student, which he will be working with, or whether it will be live lectures. So, in this, if you see my syllabus, I have defined the methodology, how I'm going to teach them. Now, the container, when I'm talking about, as I told you, whether you want to decide upon the text, whether you want to decide upon graphics, audio, video, okay, or you want to have the combination of all. Today, we are talking about a multimodal content environment. Okay, that means you can have more than one mode. It's like, Harry Potter books. Text is also there, the video also in Harry Potter book, you can see the moving graphics and all that. So probably today we are in a kind of, Harry Potter kind of environment we are teaching. We are going to get the reading materials. So the content is multimodal. Okay. And why it is so? To create the, what I say, awareness among the students or to create the interest among the students. Okay, sometimes what happen, only text, if I give you reading, it becomes monotonous. So in between the text, if I link with a movie, so half of the text you read, then I ask you, okay, now take the see the movie. So it's a kind of a break, and then you see a movie, then probably it's a kind of a revision, and then again you get back to the text. Okay, or maybe when I am teaching to you, I am using some kind of cartoons to draw your attention. Okay, probably sometimes my voice and my teaching becomes monotonous, but the moment a cartoon comes, oh, you see, okay, something it is communicating, so it attracts. So the multimodal environment gives you a better experience. So the container, it is advised that it should be multimodal. So when you are preparing the text, create a clear write-up. Okay, you can have the presentation, and this all has to be supplemented by the reading material. Your write-up should be supplemented by the reading material. Okay, it's like giving you the reference or the references you have consulted. Okay, that list also should be there. And mostly when you are in a digital environment, you are teaching in online environment, it is advised that give the reading materials which are available online. No one is going to read a book when I am reading it in online. I give you another example. When if I give you a article to read on your mobile phone, and if a word is not means you don't know the meaning of a particular word, you don't go back to the library, open the dictionary or open the physical dictionary in your house and see the meaning of the word. Rather, what you do is immediately you go to the web browser and then you see the meaning of the word. So, when somebody is reading, we don't want more displacements, more shifts. Okay. So, preferably reading material, whatever you are giving to the user, it should be online. Of course, you can record your uh, lectures, videos. You have a lot of Android tools. So if you search on your Play Store, you get thousands of such kind of tools. You evaluate and find out. I used one AZ screen recorder uh, for my purpose. And these recorders, screen recorders, are both for offline recording and for streaming. That means live you can go, like I am talking to you over Zoom. So streamers are there where you can go live. Okay, so the products are there free of cost. These products are there for use. You can use these products for your work. For video recording, I have used OBS many times. It's a little, professional kind of studio, but open source and free. Okay, where you can do some kind of mixing also with your video. You can set the background and voice modulation and all that you can do. Apart from that, you have other sources I have listed. Many of these are free. I think all of them are free because normally I list them like that, those which are free. So these all are free tools you can use. So video recorders are there. If you want to go live streaming, YouTube supports you live. But only thing with the difficulty with the YouTube is screen sharing is not there. The way I am showing you my PowerPoint presentation, that sharing is not there. But you can of course record your stream your video, and once you finish up, it is stored on your account. So it is always there on the internet forever. Okay. So live streamings are there. You can have Facebook. You can go live. Uh, Many times I give lecture on Facebook. So you can go live on Facebook. People can view. They can put questions. They can ask questions. You can clarify them. And this all tools are interactive, the beauty of these kind of streamers are they are interactive. One more interesting tool for offline recording means online recording is Loom. This I explored in the period of COVID. So you can online record your videos using Loom. For educational institutes it is free, so for educators it is free. So I have recorded a lot of videos on Zoom, on Loom. Okay. And the beauty of this platform is you record and you can download. The clarity is very good. And the packaging of this thing, your file format is also very good. Okay. So what I call is data compression is also very good in this. Okay. So data compression is also very good. The quality of output is also very good. So you can download in MP4 and then you can play, or you can carry from one place to other place. You can store. Of course, whatever you record, it will be also recorded online. Or it will be there on the port itself. So it is cloud-based, uh, platform for educators. Of course, if you are not interested, you create your own, or you can use any existing. It is up to you. It is your decision. Like, see, for my students, what I created uh, is, so I had my online syllabus. I had put my online syllabus. It was a free blogging website I used, where I could hosted my syllabus. And then I connected my syllabus with my Google Class. I connected my files with my Google Drive. Then I connected my recorded lectures with YouTube. For live streaming, I used Facebook. So now you see many such tools I used in one platform for my students. And yes, we could run the classes successfully. We could finish our syllabus within time. Of course, uh, further, uh, we could conduct the examination also online. Oh, it has its own pros and cons. Right now, I'm not going to comment on that. But yes, as it comes to the teaching and the learning environment, we could do whatever best we could do. Yeah. And the beauty of it is there are recorded lectures students can view at their leisure. Whenever they find time, they can view, they can study. It's not that there is a fixed timing for the class and the students have to take the class on that particular time. So there was no schedule. The best part of it was. Of course, I created a Moodle platform also for the students where I can host my course, I can host my lectures. Moodle supports you in many ways. You can have interactive sessions also. You can store the videos. You can schedule. You can conduct online exam also. Moodle is a kind of framework for hosting uh, online courses. Okay, so if you are interested, you can use Moodle kind of this thing. But of course, Moodle, hosting the Moodle, you require server space and all that. Whereas the earlier method, uh, through my blog, which I did, I really need not to go for any server kind of thing. I did on my free blogging website. I connected different, applications with my module, and then it was on air for the students. So now the best is the use of Web 2 technology. Web 2 technology is participatory, interactive. That means earlier what it used to happen is the communication was always from the source to the clients. But today the clients also can respond. And this environment of web is best fit for our educational environment, because normally our classes have to be interactive. Like when I was talking to you, all of a sudden I got the feeling whether I'm connected or not, so I asked, and some of you responded on the chat box that yes, I'm connected and you can listen. So a kind of interactive environment. Of course, the administrator has switched off your mic, so I cannot listen you. Okay, but naturally, if that also would have been on, I could have also heard you. So not only from I am speaking and you are hearing, I could have got the verbal feedback from your end also. So this is the beauty of Web 2.0 technology. It is interactive. Okay, and this is what we are using. So we have a lot of number of applications available. You see my the example of this portal which I prepared for a student. I have used different technologies. I used blog, I used YouTube, I used Google Drive, I used Facebook. Okay, I used Google Class. So many applications, they all were talking together. Okay, they all were connected from one platform, and the students were using. So today we have many web applications available at our disposal, which we can use in, or which we can utilize in our teaching. So now, coming to an environment which we call it as social networking, we are connected with people, so we are learning, we can talk. When we talk, we can create something new, and it empowers our learning, it enhances our learning capacity. Now, it connects people, okay, so that they can interact with each other, they can share their experience. It can be converted into a classroom environment where one can teach to many, okay, or many can respond to one. So this kind of environment also is supported with Web 2.0. We can exchange and we can work together. So many of these, you are working on a particular paper and three authors are there. So you all share your document. One document you decide upon, we will be working, and then you share on the Google or some platform. Today I modify on that, and then once I am done, I inform you I have modified the document, you have a look to it, and then you also log in, and then you make the modification and review my editings. Then you can pass it to the third one. Document is same on the same server, but it is being shared and worked by different people at different time frame. So you can exchange, you can share working in this environment. You can have shared meeting, what we are doing. Not only that, we can conduct the meeting where we can do brainstorming. Okay, we all can sit and we do brainstorming. Each one can express their views, and then we can come up with something new, some new idea or something like that. So you see the whole environment. We are using the web applications on web platform, which all are connected with each other, which all can talk to each other, and then this whole interoperable environment we should harness as an educator, okay, in our teaching, to make our teaching more effective, to create more reach out for our students, not to restrict within the classroom, not to restrict ourselves within the institute, not to restrict ourselves within a nation, and go across, go beyond the border using these tools. What you need to look into is few things while you are creating these learning objects. First thing is, your object has to be searchable. So whenever you are, like a book, you take a book, you search by title, author, place, publisher, year of publication, like that. So when you are creating such kind of learning object, that object also has to be searchable. So you need to decide upon the different fields. We call it as metadata. Okay. You need to identify the suitable metadata for your object which you are preparing. The object can be unimodal, it can be a multimodal object. But metadata will be one. Okay. One set of metadata you need to decide upon. Like who is the creator, what is the duration, what is the file format, how many files are there, what are all the softwares you need to play this file, like that. You need to decide upon the metadata. So the moment I see metadata, metadata gives me means metadata has many uses. It is not only used for search and retrieval. Sometimes I need to know what kind of softwares I need to play a particular learning object. That also is stored in a metadata. I get this information from the metadata. Okay. When the last this particular learning object was modified, that also is stored in a metadata. So metadata has a multi-role to play. Okay. So you need to decide upon the suitable metadata. At least the basic metadata like Dublin core you can follow. Okay. Whenever you are preparing your learning object, don't stick to a particular platform, particular software. Make it like that people can use it across platform. So choose the file format which is not restricted to a particular software. Choose the platform hardware device or hardware environment which is which has a larger scope. I should able to see the same on mobile, I should able to see on desktop, and so on and so forth. Time to time you need to update, and any kind of updation can be recorded in metadata. And then when you do all this, you need to very carefully understand the inherent technology you are using. Okay. At least how to use the technology you need to know. You don't need to know how to design a web page. You don't need to know how the file compression is done in MP4. But you need to know how to record a video. You need to know how to upload a video on Facebook. And this we all know. Nobody has taught us. We all know this. Okay. So you need to know how the technology can be used. So it has a lot of promises. Uh, our new environment. We say it is student centric. Okay. Now, when you are teaching in a class, you are teaching to a group. But when you are giving a module, multimodal module to your student, he will study, he will view, he will read at his leisure. Okay. He can rewind and see as many times he wants. If there is a doubt, he can leave a message in the chat box or the channel you have prepared for interaction, and then you can answer. So approach is more student centric, not restricting to a particular time frame. Okay. So this is the biggest argument people give as the one of the promises. Flexible learning hours. At any time I can view, I can read. Today I don't have time, I have some other work to do. Okay, tonight I will do it. I'll read, I'll finish the assignment, I will see the chapters, I will see the video, I will create the understanding on the subject. This environment is interactive but again, from student to teacher. So he can interact, student can interact with teacher, and his teacher also can interact with the student. But I have my own reservation. Okay. Now I am giving lecture to you. We do not know whether how many of you are really attentive and attending, because there is no eye to eye contact. See, there are many kind of communication happens which are non-verbal. Okay. Like eye contact, like my gesture. Okay, like your gesture as a student, sometimes I see in the class and I can make out this student is not following. He is not telling me that he is not following, he is not understanding, but with his gesture, with his appearance, I can make out, no, I still need to explain further because I feel he is not following. Okay, so that level of interactivity is missing in this environment. But of course, with a pinch of salt, you know, interactivity is there in this environment. Good interactivity is there, but again, it cannot beat the classroom teaching. Reusability, yes, of course, it is there. My lectures are recorded. You use ad many times. Okay, you view it, use it. Reduce technological competencies. Yes, now today we have applications. You don't need to be a technocrat to take the online class. Now, anyone, even a school teacher, we say literature people, they may not be a very good technocrat, but they also can use, they are using Kindle to read, they are using web pages to read their subject, they are delivering lectures online. Okay, they do not know that how the technology is functioning, but they know how to use the technology. It is like to run the television, I don't need to know how the circuits are there inside the television. I know my remote, this button has to push and the TV is on. So now it has become like that. The whole environment has become like that. But again, my biggest question still I feel, can it replace my classroom teaching? No, it cannot replace my classroom teaching. It cannot replace my students sitting in front of me on the benches, on the chairs, okay, with whom I have many otherwise communications eye to eye or through gestures, which I cannot communicate to them with my words. Okay, so I refuse to accept that there is a supplement to the classroom teaching in this learning environment. But again, yes, it is a big help for the students. It is a big help for the people, for the teachers, that they can still conduct the class, they can learn, it can cut across many kind of barriers in our society, but still there are a lot of challenges to face. The first and foremost challenge is the culture of sharing among educators. Okay, now many times I find, okay, teachers, they are hesitant to share. If I say let us go on online live, no, let us not go live, it doesn't look good. It is a kind of a hesitation. It is not that they don't want, it is a kind of a shy feeling they have. It's a cultural, difference. That shift in the culture has to be there. Okay, you have all kinds of resources, reading resources available, good and bad. Okay, they may contain right information and wrong information. There has to be a kind of a certification, there has to be a kind of a channel, there has to be a kind of a filter, so that from that filter whatever comes to me, I must take it as that it is a quality resource which I am supposed to read. That is missing in this environment. Okay, rights management, as I pointed you out in between, is the biggest challenge going to be in future in this environment, because copying is very easy, so one can copy others. Okay, one can copy one's lectures. Okay, I can play your lecture in my classroom, whether I am allowed to do that. Okay, or probably if there is a ebook I am allowed to share with my students. No, I'm not. If I am, if I have to, I should seek the permission from the publisher. So there would be a lot of issues with rights management. Okay, of course, hands-on learning is still difficult in this environment because it is all virtual. I can see, I can view, but I cannot feel. The tangibility is missing in this environment. Okay, and as I pointed out, for me, it has a limited interactivity. So these are some very major challenges. But of course, with these challenges, I cannot undermine this digital environment of teaching, digital environment of learning. But now I would end my this talk with a small quote. As you can see from Buddha, nothing is permanent. Everything has to last one day. Okay, so you need to find out what is the best way for your salvation. With this remark, once again, I thank the organizers, HRDCU, Mizoram University, Professor Bhartindu, for inviting me, Dr. Manoj for inviting me to share my experiences with you know this August gathering. Though virtually we are connected, I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. Any questions or any clarification you need, I would be happy to answer. Up to the administration. I can see in the chat box, but I cannot see any question. Please put your question in the chat box. Yeah. You can put your question in the chat box.